Dear students, greetings for the day. Today we will study fashion trends in fashion and changes, part 2. Objectives: to study the factors influencing fashion trends, to understand the theories of fashion adaptation, to comprehend the impact of fashion trends on the society. Adaptation of fashion. The flow of fashion. The distribution of fashion has been described as a movement, a flow, or trickle from one element of society to another. The diffusion of influences may be conceived of in hierarchical or in horizontal terms. To understand how new fashion ideas are spread and how they are adapted to the taste, lifestyle and budgets of various costumers, it is important to understand the three variations of the fashion adaptation process: traditional adaptation, reverse adaptation, mass dissemination. Trickle-down theory. Traditional adaptation. The oldest theory of distribution is the trickle-down theory. It is based on the traditional process of copying and adapting trend-setting fashion from Paris, London, Milan, and New York fashion leaders. Couture designer fashion is expensive and it is affordable by only a few people. This trickle-down movement depends upon a hierarchical society and is striving for upward mobility among the various social strata. In this model, a style is first offered and adopted by people at the top strata of society and gradually becomes accepted by those lower in the strata. This distribution model assumes a social hierarchy in which people seek to identify with the affluent and those at the top seek both distinction and, eventually, distance from those socially below them. Fashion is considered a vehicle of conspicuous consumption and upward mobility for those seeking to copy styles of dress. Those designs are copied again and again at lower prices until they have been seen often by the conservative buyers. It starts from too high fashion to the common people. Once the fashion is adopted by those below, the affluent reject that look for another. Fashion is considered a vehicle of conspicuous consumption and upward mobility for those seeking to copy styles of dress. Those designs are copied again and again at lower prices until they have been seen often by the conservative buyers. It starts from too high fashion to the common people. Once the fashion is adopted by those below, the affluent reject that look for another. Examples of the trickle-up theory of fashion distribution include our very early proponent, Chanel, who believed fashion ideas originated from the streets and then were adopted by couture designers. Many of the ideas she pursued were motivated by her perception of the needs of women for functional and comfortable dress. Following World War II, the young discovered Army, Navy surplus stores and began to wear pea jackets and khaki pants. Another category of clothing, the t-shirt, initially worn by laborers as a functional and practical undergarment, has since been adopted universally as a casual outer garment and a message board. Trickle-across theory, mass dissemination. Modern communications bring fashion from around the world into our homes instantly. Many separate markets have developed to various age ranges, lifestyle, tastes. Various designer and manufacturer labels appeal to various market segments at different price points. Mass production means that many different styles can be accepted at the same time. In the trickle-across model, there is little lag time between adoptions from one group to another. Evidence for this theory occurs when designers show a look simultaneously at prices ranging from the high-end to lower-end ready-to-wear. The reasons for this pattern of distribution is rapid mass communications, promotional efforts of manufacturers and retailers, and exposure of a look to all fashion leaders. Thus, how a fashionable look permeates in a society depends upon its origins, what it looks like, the extent of its influence, and the motivations of those adopting the look. The source of the look may originate in the upper levels of a society or the street, but regardless of origin, fashion requires an innovative, new look. Fashion trends' impact on society. Defining trends nowadays is not an easy task. Trends are in essence very complex mechanisms that mirror changes in the economic and political landscapes. Fashion itself reflects social, economic, political and cultural changes. It expresses modernity, symbolizing the spirit of the times. Trend is not what it used to be. Many savvy consumers now follow their own fashion rules, inspired by what they see on the fashion-animated streets, the internet and in the live-streamed fashion shows that are becoming a staple channel for fashion lovers. Robert Burke states as little as a decade ago, we would gather at the Ritz in Paris to come up with trend stories, which would then be translated into shop windows and advertising. 40 or 50 of us held the keys to that secret information. Anyone with a curiosity for fashion and access to the internet and television can draw her own conclusions. The trend story is passé. Nonetheless, trends are still analyzed and followed by many consumers and manufacturers who use them as a way of establishing an order in the chaotic world of fashion. Trend forecasting companies use advanced technologies and professional experts to predict what will sell in the future, and fast fashion brands are using the huge number of trends in demand at any one moment to make and sell more clothes. By utilizing information and communication technologies and through their efficient, flexible production and distribution systems, fast fashion brands are able to respond to changing trends quicker than ever before. While fast fashion retailers masterfully imitate catwalk trends in their designs, providing cheaper versions of high-end trends in their stores at the speed of light, it seems that luxury retailers have learned from fast fashion companies too. Luxury retailers, feeling the threat of fast fashion giants, have started adopting similar strategies, trying to provide merchandise faster and in bigger quantities by providing secondary lines, immediately available to purchase. In this chaotic landscape, there is an obvious need for identity and innovation, to shift the focus to where it should be, on quality and individuality. This is a type of trend that customers are happy to embrace, not because everybody else does but because it makes them look and feel distinctive. Through their innovative designs, emerging designers create the feeling that you buy a piece with meaning and personality, rather than a garment produced in a third world country which gained value only when a logo was splashed on it. Many retailers and specialists acknowledge that the appetite for niche labels has started to grow, to the detriment of brands such as Gucci, Louis Vuitton and Giorgio Armani. Now more than ever, we as consumers need to inform ourselves better about how fast fashion retailers produce their merchandise, focusing on issues such as sustainability and ethics. For these reasons, young designers are becoming more valued by both consumers and investors, and the innovation they represent is, hopefully, not just a passing trend.